No way. Like from
That's
my
the
experience with police growing up from that age, that's the one thing I said. Like even when you tell them your age, they would know your age, but they will disregard that and they don't deal with you as if you're a child. Like they don't even look at you like you're a child. Like it's one of them. It's one of them things here where I realized it. As I got older, like like you shouldn't be dealing with a minor like that. Like even one time when we got arrested when we was younger, there was an incident where we got arrested. I've come back. We've gone to the station. Man, see one of the man them come, but man's face is bust open. I'm like, bro, what's happened to you, bro? Like you were just with me. Like what could have happened to you? Like he's like. I was like, obviously the police was chasing me. I got tired, so I stopped. And then when I turned around,
I'm sorry, I don't.
No, bro. He said I got tired, so he's like, I stopped, like, and then I turned around and my man just punched me in the face, like, and then just grabbed me, like, you made me run, like, that's
made
like,
me run. You made me run.
I said no, like,
I'll say something on that very quickly. Yeah. Where's my mobile? Oh my goodness gracious, it's over there. What's the time, bro? We got the time. So I'm so sorry, guys. It's timeless, yeah? What time have we started? 8:15. All right, cool. One thing I'll say to that, and before we get on to our lovely guests, we had an experience one time where me and a couple of the man from, you know what I'm saying, I don't know if you remember this time next to Ladbrokes when all of the blue vans pulled up on us. All the TSGs.
Yeah, I remember that.
We've come back from wherever we've gone to go grab a couple of pints of whatever we've grabbed, you get what I'm saying? We've parked up and we've got mad food in the car.
Yeah.
And we've parked up on the curb in some mad way. They've come, long story short, everyone's in cuffs and everyone's kicking off. Right? I'm here with the police, I'm just like, listen, like, I know where this is going to go. I can see the police officers rubbing their hands together like, we're about to tuck in everyone. There's TSGs just pulling up. Like, now there's like 4 TSGs. When do you ever see that on a back road? It's ridiculous for like 4 men. Bro, I just started screaming at them, like, shut up! Shut the F up! Because I'm trying to tell them, like, listen, just smile, say yes, and nod. We're already in cuffs. We're going. Just shut up. Because the quicker you shut up, the quicker we go, the less injuries. Fam, one of the police officers came and whispered in my ear, if we had more people like you when we made arrests, we'll make our job a lot easier. 100%. But anyway, in saying that, welcome back, Jules and Pearls. Names fitted for those who behold. How are you guys?
Good, I'm good.
Yeah? You're good? If you,
okay?
If you turn it towards, because they're directional.
Myself?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect. So, thank you so much for joining us again. We wanted you guys to come back to kind of just update us about what's going on. We had a big discussion last time, which created a very, very big ripple in the social media world. For those people on TikTok, especially, they were going crazy. But Jules, we'll start with yourself. What's been going on, in terms of, the case with your son? Are there any developments? Where are you guys at the moment?
I think the last time that I was on here, he hadn't been sentenced. But yeah, so he's been sentenced. He was given, obviously, a life sentence you get when you get charged with murder, whether you've actually committed the murder or not. Obviously, there's a minimum tariff, and because it was with a knife, it's 25 years.
Jeez.
So it can either go up or down, depending on factors. His went down to 22, and when I found out, I was actually happy. Who would have thought you'd be happy to your son's been done for got 22 years?
What was the factor that brought it down by 3 years?
Good character and never been in trouble before.
And that was 3 years only that they took off.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
Yeah. No, that is it.
Bro.
22 years. He has to do the 22.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand. That when you get life for murder, even under joint enterprise. And the thing is, when you're inside on joint enterprise murder, you're not seen. It's not on your file as murder, joint enterprise. It's murder. So they see you as murdering someone and taking someone's life, even though you haven't. That's how you're seen.
That's wild. That's why. And
So
how old is your son now?
he's 23. So he was
Jesus.
22 when he got 22 years. So he has to do all his life again. But hopefully not. We're going through appeal at the moment.
Okay.
The single judge refuses permission to appeal, which I think, from what I've been told, a lot of the single judges, they see murder and they think, no, we're not going to give you permission to appeal. So then you can renew the application and go straight to the 3 judges, which is what we're doing. But legal aid ends, so we've had to get the money ourselves together to pay for a barrister. So that's what we're doing at the moment. Well, we've paid them now, yeah.
Realistically, going through an appeal for somebody that's just been given 22 years, you know, are there odds on that, or oopsies?
I mean, the chance, it's really hard to get a murder conviction overturned. Reason being is they don't like to admit that they got it wrong in the first place, and it undermines the jury system, which I think the jury system is just an absolute joke. But yeah, it undermines that, so they don't like to admit they got it wrong. So they don't actually care. They'll probably see that my son's innocent of murder, but they just want to see that something's gone wrong in court for the conviction to be unsafe. And if they feel that nothing went wrong for the conviction to be unsafe, then they won't grant the appeal.
That's not really what they should be basing whether or not, like, because you're not actually looking at the context of what's actually taking place.
No.
And this is what my point is like, this is what I always say about the judicial system. And people think, oh yeah, it's there. There's no actual moral grounds in it, so they don't take into consideration like the actual situation. It's just what's happened.
Yeah.
So if we can say X, Y, Z has happened, it's X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Disregard the context, and that's what the problem is, because it's like you can't just disregard the context, because like in situations like this, you can see that this is just like technicalities here. How you're getting him, how you're basically putting him in jail. Said does someone deserve to be in jail? But based off of technicalities, then but when you look at the whole context of the story, you realize this person shouldn't be in jail.
But they don't look at that.
Yeah, like, but they don't look. That's what they don't. There's no care for that. It's just
laziness. That's the thing about it's very lazy, isn't it? The way that it's so lazy.
Yeah, I don't know, but so we're holding out, and the thing is as well, like, he's inside with people that have actually committed murder and they've got less years than him. So this is what I don't understand. He's in there with people that were violent towards the victim, or that they might not have killed him, like secondary parties, and they've got manslaughter. And I'm like, how is that possible? Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense.
So do you think that there was, an example being made here, or do you feel like there was something else behind the scenes going on?
I do. Obviously, can't say too much about what we think that could be a factor, but I think it was where they got tried. They were London boys, and if they were in the Old Bailey, I think my son would have walked. But because they weren't in the Old Bailey, they was outside of London. Now, they had to ask the judge what serious harm was, because that is, and I mean, serious harm can be different to anybody. Like, for me, serious harm means you really want to mean harm on that person to the point where you like put them in hospital. Where some people might think a fight or beating someone up is serious harm. So I think depending on where you live and how you've grown up, you might see things a bit different.
Yeah, very objective that.
Yeah. So I mean, the judge said, "Well, it's up to you to decide." But I was like, "How can it be up to you to decide what serious?" You should really explain what serious. You should be defined. Yeah, what serious harm is. Yeah, but I think that's what went wrong. I think that definitely.
Cool. Pulse.
Well, hey.
What's happening?
Well, my son's been acquitted, found not guilty of murder, not guilty of manslaughter, not guilty of possessing a deadly weapon with intent to harm. So that was a big relief. It was a big relief, and I'm happy he's out. But at the same time, it's still very heart-wrenching and heartbreaking, because left one behind. You understand what I'm saying? 6 of them were acquitted, and I think that was the biggest number of boys that have been acquitted for joint enterprise. I was talking to one of the cases, and he said it's a big thing because they've not had that amount in one time being acquitted. There was a Manchester 10 where 10 boys were convicted for murder there was no murder. It was conspiracy to murder. Conspiracy to murder, isn't it? And they got done. So one got acquitted. I think you saw it was on the news. Ade, he got acquitted. His appeal got overturned. So he's home, and 4 boys got their sentences reduced, and I think 3 got their sentences reduced, and then I think 4 is left to come home or something of that nature. And I can't remember what happened to the other. I think the others got done.
They've got their convictions. Still
so
there.
So it was bittersweet. It was a bit the joy that I thought I was gonna feel, if you get what I'm saying, that real, and I did, but it didn't reach to the crescendo that I thought it would have reached to, because it's like there's still all the others left inside, if you get what I'm saying. They're still left inside. And yes, I'm happy my son's home. I'm happy that he's not facing 15 to 20 years or of that, if you get what I'm saying, and gonna have a life license and all of that. I'm so happy, but what about the others? What about the others? And I can't get over that, if you get what I'm saying. I can't move past that. There's others, if you get what I'm saying.
I was gonna say it's because you've experienced it, and this is one thing where I'd like to reach out to the audience there, is because a lot of people, because they're not in your shoes, they don't understand. You see how even though it worked out in your favor, you still can't get over, because you understand where at one moment it could have went left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just that alone, and just any normal person, they're not gonna be, like I said, they're not gonna be able to tell or understand that feeling, because they've never been in that shoes. They look at it from their shoes, so it's like, oh, maybe, because like I said, you remember that whenever these things are put to them, it's always put in black and white. Oh yeah, it was, you murdered this, he was there. They don't actually, like I said, no context to make them actually get a proper understanding to see, all right, cool, morally. Yeah, forget about the technicalities. It's morally, like, that's where it comes into play. Morally, he didn't do nothing. So he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be. It's not just because he was there or he was with him, or he was because he said, like, certain things in like certain things that happen, you're not in control of it. It's like, how are you supposed to predetermine or premeditate that this person's gonna these chain of things of me being with you and is gonna lead to this?
That's right. Yeah.
Like, because that happens. Like I said, in situations where it's like, you're like, nah, but because you, like I said, you're there. Nah, I'm sitting in the dock and I'm having to risk going to jail for 20 odd years. And like I said, if there's not the technicality there to work in my favor, you just end up there. And then, like I said, it's a whole battle. And that's the thing about it is the battle. Like, the battle is the big thing, because like you say, look, now the legal aid stuff, you've got to actually now foot the bill to have a barrister. And like I said, court is expensive.
Yeah.
And one of the things is why another thing why they try to get these get convictions here, because they know that most people haven't got them. Remember, the police, when it comes to court, they have unlimited budget, so they can prolong this, do whatever they will want, because they've got, and they're gonna get the best of the best to fight their things. Yeah, normal people and the majority of people haven't got that. So they know that, once you've got that, it might get appealed, but then, like I said, it's gonna take years. And so even you just sitting in there for the however 5-10 years that you have to sit into before it actually might get to the appeal and get overturned, you've sat in there for however many years, so they've profited off you already being in there. So it's all up in the air.
Because of the quotes, isn't it? Tell them about the quotes, Jules.
Yeah,
the
quotes. We got 50, 70 grand. We got quoted. Yeah.
And so that is just to look at the paperwork.
That's to look at the paperwork again, try and find new grounds, and then present it to the 3 judges.
Yeah, it's mad. It's crazy.
But the thing is, as well, like, you're not giving the victim's family justice in a way, because you're putting on trial people that are clearly innocent. Like the victim in your case, the family are feeling that justice hasn't been served to them because 6 people walked free. But justice has been served because they didn't do anything. So that was the right decision. But to them, they're going to think, well, we haven't got justice. Do you know what I mean?
But they've got one.
Yeah, but they're going to think they haven't got it because 6 people walked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But they have.
Well, I don't think I can say that, but they smiled. for the first time that I ever saw them smile throughout that trial, they smiled. So I feel that they felt comfortable that something
With that decision,
with that decision, because throughout the trial, you know, and this is I'm saying this, so please let me just say this now while I look into the camera. I am not speaking bad about the victim's family. I'm trying to explain to you the emotions for everybody, if you get what I'm saying, when I say what I say. So you have, like I said, in the public gallery, anybody can come into the public gallery. Strangers can come into the public gallery. The victim's family can come into the public gallery. Anybody can come into the public gallery. So we had on a few occasions, some of the friends or family members come up and were trying to be intimidating and, you know, all of these kind of things. And you really have to hold your composure. You have to, even if you want to defend yourself, if you get what I'm saying, and say something, you have to just hold it and just, you understand what I'm saying? Because they're entitled to feel the way they feel. They've lost a loved one.
Yeah.
They're entitled to feel that way, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So who am I to get defensive? You understand what I'm saying? Even though I know my loved one is innocent, you understand what I'm saying? They've lost a loved one. So you have to find another level of emotional maturity. You understand what I'm saying? To just hold it down and not take it personal, if you get what I'm saying. You know, so we had that on a few occasions, but we understood. You understand what I'm saying? We understood. So why I say we got a smile, not we got the smile, we saw a smile, is because we thought when they came out, you understand what I'm saying, we was going to get, you understand? It never happened that way. We saw the person smile for the first time, and I was like, wow. You understand what I'm saying? And we didn't, they went, there was nothing, no intimidating, no nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing, no argument, no nothing. So to me, they may say differently. It seemed to myself they were satisfied.
They were satisfied
with that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think if they weren't satisfied, there would have been a whole lot more stuff going on, if you get what I'm saying. You know, so there's so many different emotions going on there. You have so many different victims there, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to be the bigger person to put yourself in their position, as well as being in our position. You understand what I'm saying? You have to see this thing from so many different angles, you know. And it's if you're not in it, you never can really.
No, you
honestly,
won't be
never
able to explain it.
Yeah.
How is this and this is a question for both of you, how has this affected your personal lives, your home lives, as much as you can explain?
I mean, it's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't think, not only of my son, but the victim as well. I just feel absolutely devastated. And what gets me through is to know that my son's still there and I can still talk to him, I can still hug him. And that woman hasn't got that. And I honestly, the pain I feel for that is just awful. And that keeps me going to think she's in a worse place than I am right now. Like I said, I can still see my son, but it's hard. Like, I'm not the person I used to be. I used to be really fun, outgoing. I was always out. I was very social. I'm not that way as much as I used to be. I stay in quite a lot. My life revolves around my son, whether it's going to visits, whether it's sending him money. Everything is just all revolving around him. And he's got two sisters, and they've took it bad as well. You know, they've lost their older boy. They see him, and they
It's
cry
devastating,
when they see him, and it's hard.
It's devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
it is devastating.
yeah, and you've got to think of, like, my mum and dad were very close to my son, and who are they still going to be around when he comes out? So it's things like that you
That's
don't
very
think
heavy
about.
to...
Yeah, but you have to think like that. You do.
Yeah, and you're right, because like I said, there's lots of victims in this.
Yeah.
It's not just the victim's family. There's lots of victims in this. If your child is close to siblings and cousins, and they all feel the effect of it, friends. Because when my son was reminded, oh my days, friends, they felt it. You get what I'm saying? Some went into depression, some don't want to live. Do you understand? There was a whole load of emotions, and me as the mum, they come to you, isn't it? And they want to talk to you about it, and they'll talk to you about him, and oh my God, and you know, and you have to lift them up as well as keep yourself up, if you get what I'm saying. Hear their pain, bear your pain at the same time, if you get what I'm saying. And he had his little sister, and she went numb. She just numb. She was just numb. You know, she said, Mum, I don't want to talk about it. It hurts too much. I don't want to talk about it. She went to visit him a few times, stopped visiting. I don't want to visit. I can't do it, Mum. I just can't do it, you know. And I just left her as that. And now that he's come out and she's seen him and glad to see her brother, she said, yeah, you know. And the thing about it is that because she numbed the pain so much, it's like she's numb, if you get what I'm saying. So there's no feeling there. As much as she's excited to see him and she's happy, because I hear it in her voice, you get what I'm saying? The fear of the trauma of losing him in the first place, if you get what I'm saying, that pain of losing him and not having him is like she's almost scared to open back up again, just in case, if you get what I'm saying, you know, that she don't want to feel that pain no more. So I've got to now work with her on that, if you get what I'm saying. And however I do it, whether we go out, spars, do something to start trying to, you get what I'm saying, thaw that numbness, you know, and things like that. And, you know, my mum in Jamaica worrying and fretting cousins, and, you know, you get what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's so much. And, you know, me for myself, you know, I'm on a campaign. I'm I'm campaigning and I'm doing and yeah, that's me. That's how I did. I just flung myself into it, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, and campaigning and going here, House of Parliament, going to that meeting, and
Oh yeah, because they don't know what's. There's an inquiry now in the House of Commons.
Yeah, that's another one.
Into joint enterprise. Yeah. So there's actually there's people, independent bodies actually looking into it.
Yeah,
because they don't even know how many people are in prison under joint enterprise, because it doesn't say on their file, does it?
Doesn't. No.
So that's what they're looking into, and the offence and trying to make changes, recommend changes.
Where could that potentially lead to? Let's say they find out that it's all been a big old, you know, deceitful plan, or deceptive plan rather, and all of these people are in jail under false pretenses. What do you think would happen? Do you think they'd let all of them out?
Nope. Can you imagine the media? Murderers being released. Do you know what I mean? No, but it's true.
Right.
It would never happen.
I'm going to be controversial again. Yeah, I'm going to be controversial again, right? Right. Listen, it's about money. This is money. Yeah, and I think outside the box with these things. You understand what I'm saying? But and it's not just thinking outside the box. If they say follow the money, you see what's going on, right? Can I say it?
Yeah.
Right. So there's modern day slavery going on here, right? There's modern day slavery, right? Because joint enterprise makes a lot of money. They dragnet a lot of people, and as we remember, we quoted the monies that they make for one person a year, £140,000 for one person. You understand what I'm saying? So imagine you scoop 10, you scoop 6, 7, whatever, how much money everybody's making. A murder case trial is 1.3 million. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody's making money. So now, when you've got all of these people going into prisons and private prisons as well, yeah, companies, outside big companies, use them to make car parts. Most of the gadgets you see nowadays, it's them. You drinking coffee? Do you like coffee? Guarantee you's a prisoner that's grounded the coffee, packaged the coffee, and they get £8 a week after doing 12 or more hours of
£1 a day or something.
Yeah,
how much a day?
£2 something.
Because I used to work in the prison. You worked in the kitchen, it'd be like £1 a day. So depending on what you do.
Depending on what, so you understand.
The most you get is like £5 a day. So it's like mad.
So you got all of that. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't even remember when we went to the thing. Remember over fingers crossed. And we was at that event there about they're making the chairs and all of those kind of things. So they make they don't get the money. The money don't go into their pocket. Yeah. So there is a bit of I'm not saying bit. It's a big time modern slavery going on. These private prisons have to make their money, and they make their money from prisoners. You understand what I'm saying? That's how they make their money. So it's like a mill, isn't it? It's like a mill. One go up 10. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of that going on, and again, if you look at slavery in of its whole self, when they lost their slaves, they were paid repatriation. But one thing I've realized with this country, they always need people to do the work for them. So how do they get those people for free? You understand what I'm saying? This is how they get free labor. And no one really speaks about that because it's not PC. You understand what I'm saying? But we have to also go down that route and talk about that as well. Because there's that behind the scenes also. To get an understanding of what's going on. It's not just about, you're a murderer, you understand what I'm saying, you're in gang. They use that to drag, they use the word dragnet. You understand what I'm saying? They don't care if they're innocent or not. We want these because they're working for us. They're going to make money for us. Yeah, we keep our pockets fat.
Yeah, but prisons, they're full. They could really look at the joint enterprise people in there and sort of, what I think they should do is not obviously let them all out, but the secondary parties, they need to take away their life licenses because that's just and give them and re-sentence them based on what they've done. That's what I think should happen. Because how can someone that hasn't done anything get exactly the same sentence as someone who decided to take someone's life? Doesn't make sense. That would be a good way. Go all the second, if they even know who's in there under joint enterprise. They don't even know. But that would be a good start.
But the thing about it is, did they say that they do? I'm sure. Did you go to the House of Commons?
Yeah.
The last one.
Yeah. The launch of the commission.
Yeah, I think it was the launch of the commission.
Yeah.
And the lady, I can't remember her name, Natalie or something like that. Now she works in prisons. She works in there, and I'm saying, how
was
can
it the
she?
Justice Gap?
Was it the Justice?
Something
like the Justice Gap. Yeah, you work in the prisons. How can you not know who's there for joint enterprise and who's not there for joint enterprise?
Because it's not down as joint enterprise on their file. It's just murder. Or manslaughter if they've got manslaughter. It's nothing to do with joint enterprise.
Because they were saying that as well. But they were saying that if you look up on when you go to the courts, like the Old Bailey, you've got a list of people. That if you go through, then you see there's a list of how many you can tell what's joint enterprise and stuff. That's what I mean. How can they not know from there that it's joint enterprise? You must when you go to the Old Bailey, because if they've told us how we can get that information, how come they don't get that information? You can know from the
there's a way of them finding it out.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a whole bunch of convenience on the side of politics and the criminal justice system. But speaking to people that are going through this similar things, what can you say in terms of advice about just maintaining a good state of mental health? Because this must be extremely draining, and not everybody can handle it. So what kind of advice can you give to people to kind of just stay strong and not lose their nut in the process?
Do you know what? I don't know. I think you've got to remain positive. Like when my son rings me and he's having like a bad day, I don't cry or anything on the phone to him. I'll do my crying after, but I sort of say, we're going to get you out. This is injustice. Like I kind of try and keep his spirits up. And if he's happy and his spirit not happy, he's never going to be happy in there. But if his spirits are up, then my spirits are up. So I think it's you really have to stay positive and talk about it. Some people might feel that they're ashamed to talk about it, but I talk about it. And I talk about it because I want people to understand what joint enterprise is. People don't. I say, oh, nice, talk about joint enterprise. They're like, what's that? And they can't believe it. And I talk about it because I want to get it out there of how, and people need to know. So I think, and I mentioned before, Jeng Bar, they've got loads of people, we're on a big, massive group chat, and if anyone's feeling down, we go on there, don't we? And so, but it's not easy. You have to get on with your life, and what you can't do, what I do a lot. What if this? What if you took the stand? What if this happened? What if that?
The regret.
There's so much regret at the moment that I feel that I should have made him take that stand, even though he's advised not to. I should have made him take that stand, and I have to live with that.
Can I say something about that? This stand business, taking the stand. It can be a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing, though, because in our trial, the young man that took the stand because he had to take the stand. I won't talk about his thing because his family ain't giving me the permission to speak about it. But he had to take the stand because he had to defend himself, and even though he took the stand and said his part, you understand what I'm saying? The prosecution still turned and said, "Well, you could be lying. How do we know you're telling the truth?" You understand what I'm saying? So you can still look like a liar, even taking the stand. And the thing about it is, like one of the cases said, big up Mr. Kier Monteith, I have to big him up. And like he said, and I'm going to big up my cases in a minute as well, because I have to. You know, like he said, is that if the jury don't have a mind of their own and they just listen to the prosecution, that's it, it's over. It's done. It's done with. You get what I'm saying? So he could have taken the stand and he could have said whatever. And then they could have still turned around and said,
yeah, that's what they said.
You're a liar.
Yeah. They basically said there's nothing for you to prove. There's no evidence against you. You haven't got to defend yourself. If you get up there, they could make you look
that's right,
worse.
they can make you look worse.
And they could say things and put things in your head and make you look. And so in the end, we thought, okay, well, we'll listen to advice. But I don't know, as a juror, should he have got up there? Were they thinking, oh, he didn't get up there, he's got something to hide? You just don't know what goes on in their mind.
But the thing about it is, so I'll go into our case, and like I was saying to you before, right? With my son's KC, so big up Ika, Piet, and Kiri Ariopoulos. Two, I have to call them bad boy KC and barristers. Yeah. And when they put together, when they was doing the closing speeches for my son's, for my son, defending my son, they had 15 points because my son was charged on 2 counts, yeah? And the way how they broke down the 15 points, I wish I'd brought the paper, actually, because I was supposed to bring it with me. So they were said to them, look, and there's a book, there's a book called Yesterday in the Back Lane. Read that book. If you can get it on Amazon, cheap, it's about £3 odd, used, get it. And he read it out, in a page of it out to the jury. And it was a young girl. She went to her aunt's house to get a carving knife because it was Christmas time, so they needed a carving knife for the turkey, and they always used their auntie's knife because that was the best knife, yeah? And she was carrying the knife home, and a man tried to essay her. You understand what I'm saying? And she stabbed the person, and he died. So, of course, he's lying there in the lane. You understand what I'm saying? She's gone home, washed the knife off like nothing's happened. Just, you understand what I'm saying? Anyway, of course, the next day they found the body and all the rest of it and blah, blah, blah. And then a man is charged for the murder. So it so happened that her mother became a juror on that trial. So, of course, the girl's silent. She's not saying nothing. Of course, she's not telling nobody about what she's done. She's kept quiet. And then the trial starts and the mum's gone to, and they've seen the man, and the mum comes home and said, yes, he's guilty. You can see all over him. And the daughter says, but you don't know that, mum. You don't know that. How can you say he's guilty? You don't even know him. Just the mum said, yes, he is. He's guilty. And in the end, the man was convicted of the murder and he was hung. But what the case he was trying to say to them is, based on his looks, he was charged with murder. So he said to them, don't you, look at these boys, hair cane rolled up, black boys, all, 7 of them in a dock, and dare say, yeah, they look like murderers. He said, you can't do that. He said it was so unethical if you do that. He said it spoke about unconscious bias. He spoke racial stereotyping, profiling, institutional racism. He broke it all down. And I'm telling you for a fact, yeah, as much as they were fantastic, and they were fantastic jurors, they came there with their preconceived ideas and their beliefs and all the rest of it. And I can literally feel that when he was speaking, it hit every single one of them, like in their chest. You can almost see them go, like, you get what I'm saying? Because it's like, yeah, oh, I thought that, I was thinking that, I was thinking. You can literally see it, if you get what I'm saying. And he said to them, again, don't convict these boys because you want to please the victim's family. He said that will be so... what did he say again? What it was? I can't remember the words that he used, but he just basically said that you would be making the worst mistake of your life and you will never be able to live with yourself. He said, yes, the victims they're forever gonna feel the loss. There is nothing you can really do to stop them from feeling that loss. So trying to convict innocent boys just to make the victim's family feel like, yes, we got... He said it will be wrong, so don't do that neither. If you get what I'm saying. By the time he done with them, you could see that there was like, okay. You understand what I'm saying? They were so challenged by what they were thinking. You understand what I'm saying? Because you could see that every time something was read out about them, you see the jury looking at the boys like, you understand what I'm saying? You can see it. And so you knew that what was ticking around in their head. And so by the time Ica broke that down, and I think that is what really saved those boys. And then Kia came, and Kia had 10 other, you understand what I'm saying, similar to what, and they broke it down. They spoke about do-rags, face masks. You understand what I'm saying? How can you criminalize do-rags? How do you criminalize do-rags? How do you criminalize tracksuits and hoodie jackets and hoodie? You understand what I'm saying? And they broke it down. They really broke it down in there. And again, the lyrics, going to the lyrics. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like they're trying to criminalize a whole culture. Yeah, they're criminalizing a whole culture. And if you allow them, they will get away with it. Yeah, they have to be challenged on that.
So if you don't mind speaking about the music, because we were speaking earlier off camera about a case where a young British musician, my goodness gracious, that does drill music.
Yes, it does. Yes.
He was indirectly involved in a case where somebody was murdered, I believe. And his music's been banned from YouTube, and he's apparently...
Yeah, they took it fully off.
Oh, wow.
He's apparently been sent down for a significant amount of time. Now, this would fall under the joint enterprise category. And I was speaking about how I felt like it's the irony in the situation of him speaking about this in his music and glorifying this in his music, and then literally having to live the negative result of what he's speaking about indirectly is crazy. But you were even speaking about how they use the lyrics, that somebody might be even listening to, or whatever. So could you speak a bit more about that?
Right, so with the lyrics now, because like I said, on one of the boys wrote lyrics. It mentioned the victim's name in there, if you know what I'm saying, and stabbing, but it was the amount of times of the stabbing, and certain other parts was just not like really, what was the word they said? Relatable to what actually happened. So his Casey was saying basically it is not evidence that he actually did the deed. You forget what I'm saying? And his case is actually an expert on thing. If you look at his profile, expert on gang, grime, rap music, and whatever.
Yeah.
So he was saying that people write stuff and they embellish the truth. They write about fantastical stuff. If you get what I'm saying, it doesn't mean that they've actually done the deed. And then he brought up about, like I said, Bob Marley. Did Bob Marley shoot the sheriff? Did he really shoot the sheriff? Did Tom Jones really stab Delilah or kill Delilah? You understand what I'm saying? And and whatever song, you got a few rock songs out there of them doing some kind of crime. Did they actually do the crime? You understand what I'm saying? Did they actually do the deed? You understand what I'm saying? So with this young man now that's done this thing here and he's singing about whatever he's done, it's not can you show me that he actually did it? You understand what I'm saying? Can you show me on CCTV footage him holding that instrument there and pointing at the person, and you understand what I'm saying, or taking that knife? Where is the evidence?
Yeah.
Where is the evidence? So for me, if cases are based on evidence, because that's what it's supposed to be based on.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have no evidence. There's no camera footage of this person actually committing that crime. How can you do him for lyrics? If you get what I'm saying, how? Say for instance, well, if they did do it or not, how though? Where's the evidence? If you get what I'm saying, if these cases are supposed to be based on evidence, where is the evidence? Show me the evidence.
So, is it fair to say then that we don't live in the democratic state that we believe that we do? Because it's true what you're saying. This is all I ever hear. You know what I'm saying? Evidence. It's all based on evidence. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we need the evidence. You know what I'm saying? Even if you've got people saying he did it, you need evidence. But we do see these little cases that slip through that crack that you don't really have evidence, but you've got a lot of people with opinions and the opinion that we want on the case because we just need to send these people down. That's what needs to happen right now. And those fall through the cracks. And who then do you go to? What complaint department do you call? You know what I'm saying? What compliance department do you need to speak to? What happens then? Because if that's just allowed to happen, then you can't really speak to no one. And if you do, it's going to cost you tens of thousands of pounds to go through a process, or you need to hire the best lawyers to go through this process on a 70-30, 50-50 chance. Like, where exactly are we living? Like, does it not concern you guys as advocates, you know, that this fight is almost lost before it's begun? You know, is there some kind of hope?
I do believe
saying?
there's hope.
Yeah.
Listen, can I just do a little praise break for a minute, please? Because I have to praise my Father. Yeah, I have to praise my Heavenly Father. Yeah, I will call him by his Hebrew name. Yeah, which is Yahweh Elohim, which is to people who know him as God. Yeah, I have to give him praise, right? And you was asking how we cope. That's how I coped. That's how I coped because I'm a believer. That's how I coped. That's how I got through. Yeah. And I say all of that to say about hope, right? We need him on our side. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You see joint enterprise? You see this thing here? It's not normal. It's not normal. It's like a living entity, right? We need him on our side. And let me tell you, I know he was on our side. I know for a fact he was on our side. Yeah? We saw him work in that courtroom every day. Every single day. You lot read Psalms 35. Read it, because I'm telling you, Psalms 35 was like, it was like a M16, Mac 11, AK-45, Smith & Wesson. You name them, you name it. Yeah? That's what Psalm 35 was for us on every day. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? And I will preach this till the day I die.
Yeah.
You need him. In these cases here, you need him. Trust me, you need him. I'm gonna tell you, look, and it might sound fantastical, but if you're a believer, you'll understand. I remember when my son was arrested, and they said sent it up to the CPS to see if they was gonna charge him for murder or not, and then they came down and said, yes, we're gonna charge him for murder. And I remember hearing within, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I said, all right then. Because like I said, I'm a believer. You understand what I'm saying? I stand on the word. Yeah. And all the way through, like I said, I stood on the belief that it's going to be okay. My son's coming out. You understand what I'm saying? We don't know how we're going to get to the end of it. We don't know what it's going to look like, but my son's coming out.
She's always said that.
I've told Eddie.
When I've gone through a bad time, I will phone Pearl. And honestly, the positivity that comes out of this woman is amazing. I'm telling you.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
However, when the trial started on the 1st of October, yeah, and got on the bus, about my business, pick up my metro, you understand what I'm saying? And I picked up the metro and I looked at it and the words vindication just jumped out on me. Big, bold writing. I've got it on my wall in my son's room. I had to keep it and mark the date, time when I read it and all the rest of it. It said vindication in big writing, yeah? And I said, I know. I just knew. I know my son's coming home. I know my son's coming home. But here's the kicker. The following day now, yeah, got back on the bus again, picked up the newspaper, because you know the Metro, they print new papers every day, innit? Picked up the paper, sat down, turned the paper over, and I saw vindication again. And I was like, vindication again? What? They did another story on vindication? What, they're continuing the story? And I looked at the date. It was the date from the day before. Twice. Now, how many counts did my son get? It was charged for 2 things, knife and the murder. That's vindication I saw twice on different days. That made me know my son's being vindicated for the 2 counts that he got charged with. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? From that, I was like, yeah, I know it's happening. I don't know when, I don't know but I kept hope. If you get what I'm saying, I kept hope. And like I said, every day we saw something different happen on that. So yesterday, when he got not guilty for the 2 counts, yeah, I said, Father, thank you, because you told me from beginning. Vindicate, show me vindication twice. And that's what happened. If you get what I'm saying? Going back to what you were saying about hope, again, we need open doors. We need prayer. For me, was the key. You understand what I'm saying? Prayer is an open door, because the amount of people that I've met at the Old Bailey, that I've spoken to, that's interested to help, if you get what I'm saying, those people can then go on to other people and tell other people, and doors are opening. When I say doors are open, I mean doors. The amount of people that are saying, all right, you've gone through this, we want you to come on here, we want you to talk about, doors are opening. You understand? I'm not saying that because if you don't have faith, it's not going to happen that way, but I'm just saying that I've seen miracles literally happen at the Old Bailey with that. If you get what I'm saying, because like I said, this joint enterprise thing is not normal. It's not. It's not a normal thing. It's not a normal thing. And you know, taking it from the natural and putting it into a spiritual thing may be a reach or a stretch for some. But I'm telling you, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Here, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Obviously, as a believer, I know that whatever happens in the physical happens in the spiritual first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do understand that there are elements like that. When we first started recording, did my battery die? My phone's off. Oh, damn, the live's gone. All right. When we first started, we were talking about stop and search. And you said that you had...
Oh, yeah, stop and search.
Let me just grab my phone while you talk about stop and search.
Let me just get some literature here. Where's my glasses? Get my bag for me, please, Chris, when you're over there. And get my glasses. I need my other eyes. Thank you. Yeah, Stop and Search is trying to turn into a whole nother entity as well. It's trying to turn into a monster. You know, it's gone through so many different transitions? Sus laws and all kinds
When
of...
does it stop?
The Stop and Search.
The transition that you're speaking.
No, throughout the years I'm talking about.
Oh, it's
yeah, throughout the years, if you get what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And even though they changed the names of what it is, it's the same thing but under a different name, isn't it? And stuff like that. And because I wanted to talk about, I don't know if you can have the time about, I don't know if you've heard of the Criminal Tribes Act. Have you heard of the Criminal Tribes Act? So the Criminal Tribes
Educate
Act
us,
was
please.
going back to, I think it was 1781 or was it 1871? But check out Criminal Tribes Act. Yeah. And the Criminal Tribes Act is a British colonial law that was in India, but it's still operating like. And so what they would do, like I said, is criminalize a whole tribe of people. So they weren't allowed to work in certain parts. They weren't allowed to even leave certain boroughs. They weren't allowed to do that. And if they did, they would be flung into jail and stuff like that. That changed to what did they call it? Vagrancy and stuff, like some vagrancy law and whatever the case may be. And then, but as it's come down through the ages, then you've had the what was it called? Criminal justice. It changed its name, but the thing is like when you look at it nowadays, joint enterprise is almost come down to joint enterprise, because what they're trying to do now is say that if you come from a certain area, you must be a criminal. If you know what I'm saying, you can't go to this ends or that ends. It's check it out. Just check it out. If you get what I'm saying. So I'm going somewhere with it, but check it out. I'm just because I wanted to put that in. The laws may change or the name may change, but the practice is still the same. If you get what I'm saying. So check out Criminals Tribes Act, because when we went to the House of Commons and I told him, I said to mention the Criminals Tribes Act to him, he wrote that and they said yes, they need to look into it because it's still in operation. If you get what I'm saying, it is still in operation. From them want to criminalise a demographic of people, it's still in operation today. If you get what I'm saying, so yeah, check that out because I just wanted to bring that in. But going to Stop and Search, there's a organisation called Stopwatch. And they've basically been, they're doing, like, they will record the data of how many stops and searches and who they're stopping and searching the most, if you get what I'm saying. And so basically it's about who do you complain to. So it's like a booklet, how do you complain about your stop and search and stuff like that, who you're complaining to. They've given them numbers, the ILCP, the ILPC, the Independent Office for Police Conduct, so you can complain to them if you've been stopped and searched, how many times, what they've done to you, and etc. and etc. Also, there's your Go Wisely. We want the children also to learn, mainly the children to learn their Go Wisely. So the Go Wisely is basically a procedure that the police must follow. So it says here, police must explain or provide the following when searching you. So grounds for suspicion, why they find you suspicious, objective of the search, what they are looking for, drugs, weapons, etc. and etc. Warrant card, their warrant card, if not in their uniform. So you must make sure that they show their warrant cards, if you get what I'm saying. Identity of the officer, their name and badge number. They must give their name and badge number. The station where they're from. You understand? It's an entitlement to record. So a copy of the search receipt. You must always get your receipt, and then how to get one, and then legal power used. So you have to ask them, so what legal powers are you using? Is it Section 1 of PACE, Section 23, Misuse of Drugs Act, or Section 60? So they must tell you what powers they've come to stop and search you with for or whatever. And it says you are detained. So that you are being detained for a search. So they must tell you if you're being detained for a search or not. If you're not being detained, they have to let you go. In all of this time that they've stopped and searched you, you don't have to give your name, address, number, nothing, no details, nothing whatsoever. They will say to you, you have to, but you don't. If you're being detained, we're being told now that yes, then you've got to give this information, but otherwise you don't have to, So we're going, so now with the stop and search, we are told that they can strip search you, but they're only supposed to allow to take your jacket off or your jumper off, if you get what I'm saying. They are not supposed to be taking off clothes, underwear and whatever, but however, we've been told that there have been times when boys have been stripped, if you get what I'm saying, but that's wrong. That is absolutely wrong. And they can ask for an appropriate adult to be there with them if they're underage, but sometimes they don't allow for that to happen. So they're getting away with a lot because a lot of the time the police don't have on their body worn, and then what also happens, the first 30 seconds of them turning on the body worn camera, there is no audio, so you can't actually catch what is being said in the beginning, if you get what I'm saying. So what I would like for the youngsters to know is if they are being stopped and searched, wait, ask them, you must ask the police, are they doing their go wisely? Are they going by these procedures here? They must ask them that, if you get what I'm saying, if they're going by these procedures, because this holds the police accountable. This lets the police know, oh, so you know your rights, if you get what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So this is something that we've got to be teaching the youth, this go wisely here. It's very important. It kind of empowers them as much as possibly can, 100%. If you get what I'm saying, so so Stopwatch, please check out Stopwatch. And get as much information, arm yourself with as much information, and the youth with as much information about stop and search. And you can complain. It's whether you're brave enough to complain, because what we found is that when you do put in a complaint against a police officer, they're going to want to harass you because you've complained, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah. But what they're trying to say is the data is wrong. And the reason why the data of how many times a particular demographic of people have been stopped and searched and etc. is because nobody complains. So, they can say, well, there's not that much, people are not complaining because this number. But if you've got to complain, you have to complain, because what they said is that, say, for instance, PC Greg was doing all of this stopping and searching and doing all of these things. If how many different people complained about PC Greg, they would say, oh, okay, hang on, he's come up here how many different times on the, you understand, different complaints, then they can then suspend him, if you get what I'm saying, and whatever the case may be. Can we
take the name of the police?
Yes, you must. You have to. You must do.
That's the first thing.
Yeah, you must
what's
do.
Your number?
Yeah.
What's your name?
You must complain about with the officer, and like I said, you have some serious rogue ones, as we know, out there. You understand what? They just feel that they're above the law. And if they know that you've complained, they will want to harass you even more. But the thing about it is, if you complain every single time they harass you, you complain about them, then their name will flag up. It flags up, if you get what I'm saying. So it's important that we try and empower the youth, but it is very, very scary. And you are entitled by law to record them, the police, if you get what I'm saying. You are entitled. They cannot tell you that 100%. You cannot record them. You're entitled to record them. However, the advice is, say for instance, you've got your phone in your pocket or whatever, instead of reaching in to go and get your phone, because they might think you're taking out a gun or something like that, just let them know, I'm reaching in right now for my phone and I'm going to record this. You get what I'm saying? And you can record at a good enough distance away, and they can't say that they're going to take your phone from you, because it's not right. You can record, if you get what I'm saying. So we just want the public to know that you can, but you can do it in a fashion that's not going to aggravate the police officers, and make things worse for the person who is actually being stopped and searched and things like that. So yeah, we're just really trying to get that information out there as well, because again, I believe from the stop and search, it leads to other charges and things that don't need to be, you get what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So if we can hold these police officers accountable as much as possibly can, we can avoid a lot of charges and stuff that these youth are being given for no reason, just for the sake of the police. Just want to be, I won't say the word. Yeah. I won't say the word.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for that, Pose. I appreciate that because, it's very important for us to know the law. And for everyone out there, just to reiterate what she said, if you're ever in a situation where police hop up on you, tell them immediately, can you turn your body cam on before anything happens? When they're even still at a distance, can you turn your body cam? Are you recording? Can you turn it on, please?
Wait 30
and
seconds.
just wait, Don't start engaging in convo. If they ask you something, don't answer back. Because when that 30 seconds expires, they're going to have to repeat whatever they said to get the answer they want. So just take that little piece of advice, and thank you for sharing, everybody, including myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be out here pretending I know the law, giving it all the gab. I don't know nothing. Right. Joint enterprise, as in the organization. How are things going? What are the new tactics, or what are the tactics that you are implementing to really make this change? What's going on? What are you guys,
We've got a significant contribution bill going through Parliament at the moment, haven't we? To try and change the law.
So what's a contribution bill?
So basically, it means that you have to have had a significant contribution to the crime before you can be found guilty of murder or under joint enterprise. Because at the minute, you don't have to have any significant contribution. You can just if the person who's actually killed someone, you could just maybe have made a phone call to him, say, what you up to, where you're going, I'll meet you later. And then if he goes and commits a crime, they'll say, oh, you were on the phone to him. You told him where the victim was. You're part of it. So
you encourage
yeah. So it's just it's as simple as that to get involved in it, isn't it?
So let me get this straight. Somebody can be sent down for joint enterprise, and then there is an option for their representation to go for what was it that you called it again? Significant contribution.
Significant contribution.
See, man, this is why they really can't have like fully conscious people running things, because to me it's like, if you have a loophole in joint enterprise, like if you can get around it with that, then why is joint enterprise a thing in the first place? Because if it was so definite, if it was so objective,
that's the problem.
Then you wouldn't need for you to be able to say, no, we need to be able to prove that you significantly contributed. Like, oh yeah, okay, guys, we was a bit harsh before. Let's look at what kind of this justice system is crazy.
They did change the law in 2016, because before you could get done on foresight. So you could say, if you could have foresaw the crime.
That's right.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you got done on foresight, and it changed in 2016. Yeah.
If
So you basically had to be.
If you foresaw that it could have happened, then you would just. But then they realised that the threshold for conviction for the principal was a lot lower than it was. Was it lower or higher? I can't remember. Than the secondary party. They thought, well, hold on, you've got to have all this evidence on. Do you know what I mean? On one and not the other. But that still happens now, because for you to find the principal, to charge a principal, you have to have DNA, you have to have concrete evidence. For the secondary party, you don't have to have any evidence. As soon as you think, right, I've got enough for the principal, right, let's just bring the rest, let's charge the rest.
Does it all depend, like, let's say, and I'm speaking completely from oblivious to this, if the primary was
the principal.
I'm out here talking rubbish.
Could be the primary.
If the principal,
could be, it's the same. It's the same,
If the principal goes down, does that mean the secondary automatically goes down? Or if the principal gets off, does that mean the secondary?
Secondary has. You can't find the principal not guilty and the secondary guilty. That can't happen.
That's ridiculous.
That can't. And they do. The judge, they do say that if you find you cannot. If you find one, then you cannot find them. They do. Right. They do state that.
Because with our trial, at one point, there was like, who is the principal and who is the secondary? They didn't know who was principal or who's secondary. There was like, who it was almost, we was thinking, what, so they're going to just pick a primary, you understand, or a principal. But there was a bit of a, like, what they're doing here kind of like thing, if you get what I'm saying. And yeah, it was like, wow. You see, the evidence is just so weak. You don't even know who's primary and who's or principal and who is secondary. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, in some cases you don't, because no one's admitting to doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, in our case, the principal admitted it and said that he did it, and they don't care. But yeah, we've got the significant contribution bill, which Kim Johnson, the Labour MP, is trying to push through. I think the last government rejected it, didn't they? That the Conservatives. So
yeah, they did.
Where a lot of the Labour MPs are actually for reform of joint enterprise. So we're kind of hopeful that now that they're in Parliament. Yeah, and then we've got the sentencing review. They're doing sentencing reviews at the minute. Well. Yeah. So I think a lot of us have wrote into them to say, please look at the resentencing of joint enterprise.
Is there like a cap on that, or can anyone for any amount of time just go in for that?
I think there was a
deadline.
There was a deadline.
Yeah,
there was a deadline. Yeah, and can I mention before we wrap up the gang matrix? Yeah, as much as because they're going to be disbanding it the 13th of this month. And please, everyone, please, it still exists up until the 13th of this month. But I think we should be actually protesting that, because if they get rid of the gang matrix, we won't have the evidence of how many people are actually still on it. And then what happens is, because they've changed the name from gang matrix now to violence harm assessment, those who are on the gang matrix now goes over to the violence harm assessment, if you get what I'm saying. So what will continue to happen, say for instance with the stop and searches and stuff like that, they put in the person's name. If the name is given, they get flagged up. You understand what I'm saying? As whatever, part of a gang or whatever the case may be. So I think they've given it like a red, amber, green kind of scorings now, if you get what I'm saying. So it's become a scoring. So the amount of time they stop you or whatever the case may, you get scores now, you get whatever. So you could be in the red, or you could be in the green, or you could be in the amber, whichever part they put you, class you as dangerous, highly, then whatever, if you get what I'm saying. So so please check out if you've ever been arrested, how many times or whatever, please check out if you can get it in on time. Like I said, I think we should be able to still, with the SARS form, get information. With the SARS form, you can get information from your solicitors, the courts, police, about what information that they've got on you, if you get what I'm saying. So I'm hoping that that can still happen. But with the gang matrix now, yeah, the 13th of this month, try get your forms in. Try. You may can get get some information back. But yeah, it's important. Very, very important. Very important. And you may can get compensation, so they say. But don't know.
Okay. So what are you guys doing in particular at the moment in terms of, is it lobbying? Is it, I don't know what it's called. You said obviously you put in for that, and I assume that's for your case or your son's case.
What, the sentencing review?
The
appeal. Yeah.
So just generally, obviously with you guys obviously working together as an organization, is there anything that you guys want to kind of see in place going forward that can kind of start to tear apart, this very bad side of the justice system? Do we need to kind of see more work from the MPs? You know what I'm saying? Do we need to start seeing more mini community organizations and mini groups coming together to kind of create noise? Like, what kind of things would you like to see happening?
What I found is that when I was at the Old Bailey, and we was standing there's a passageway where the public wait to go up into the docks, into the main gallery, into the gallery, and you had protesters protesting out there, and they were loud. Trust me, they were loud, and inaudible because you couldn't really hear what they were protesting about. But I stood there I was observing it because I wanted to see how you could actually protest, if you get what I'm saying, without getting into trouble. And there was loads of police around. And I said to the police, is this all right for them to do that? I said, yeah, as long as there's no fight, no argument, they can protest, if you get what I'm saying. And I stood there and I thought, why are not more people out there protesting about joint enterprise? This is the perfect place to protest about joint enterprise. If you know what I'm saying.
Then you're not going to do that unless it's happened to you. No one.
But the thing about it is,
thing.
I know, but the thing about it is, and I don't want to be controversial again, there is an organisation that does. So why are we not there?
I'll turn up to every single one.
Why are we not there? If you get what I'm saying, and that's the question, why are we not there? Whether it be once a week, once a fortnight, once a month, why are we not there talking about joint enterprise? We're in the perfect place. When my son's trial was going on, nearly every court was for the joint enterprise. If it wasn't the other cases that was going on at the time with the young girl and the Russians, but full of joint enterprise. Why are you not there? Why are you not there? If you get what I'm saying. And it really hurt me because, anyway, let me leave it alone. All I know is this, for myself, you understand what I'm saying? My son's case is done now, and we are going to be doing that. You understand what I'm saying? We will be taking children to the courts so that they learn about these things. You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't know. You understand what I'm saying? They don't know. So we will be taking them there to learn about what joint enterprise is. You then go to your community and you go and talk about joint enterprise. We will put on more community, projects and workshops and go into schools. And that's how, you understand what I'm saying? That's how we get these things sorted out. Because the more people learn about it, it's the more voices.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? The more voices I have, because right, I'll give you an example. So, like I said, when in court, the public can come in. If you're in the public gallery, the public can come in. And majority of the time, while we were there, we'll come up and we'll hear people laughing and joking. I just want to see what it's like in the courtroom. I just want to see what it's like. And we're like, you're not coming in our courtroom. Not with that attitude, you're not coming in our courtroom. What do you mean? Do you think it's a joke? It's not a joke in there, and we'll tell them, our loved ones are in there suffering. Yeah? So you're going to come in there and think it's a joke. You're not doing that. So what are you here for? Is this EastEnders? Is this Coronation Street? Do you really think it's that kind of thing? It's not that kind of thing, And then explain what joint enterprise is. By that time, their mouth is on the floor. Their jaws are, what, really? Is that what? I've never heard about this before in my life. I've not. Is that? Go in there then, and you will know. Yeah. If you're going in there, go and learn about something. There was a lady, and I spoke to her. By the time I finished speaking to her, she said, "Thank you so much for explaining that." She said, "I never knew nothing about it. Thank you for being so open to speak about it from a parent's point of view." She said, "I'm going to go away and I'm going to study it." I said, "You go do that." And I said, "When you've studied it, go and tell somebody else." A few weeks later, I saw her. She'd come to watch another case, and she said, "You know what? I keep thinking about what you've told me. I think about it all the time." She said, "Thank you so much for telling me that, because I really didn't know about it." That's how you wake people up. If you get what I'm saying, that's how you wake people up.
Yeah, but MPs as well, the law needs to change, and they can do something about that. They can, and they need to do it, don't they? They can. They can make changes.
Yeah, they can. But you know what? For me, go above them. Because there are people bigger than them. If you get what I'm saying. To me, I'm sorry to say this, but
people.
To me, they're small fry.
Cheese Louise, Papa Cheese.
Sorry, sorry, MPs, and I don't mean it wrong. Yeah, but you can do so, but go to the bigger people. There are organisations that are that help children, organizations that injustice, but go search them. They're there. They're actually there. That when you go to them, they can make a difference. They can make a difference. But I think sometimes we're just stuck on doing, when they say to you, doing the same thing over and over again, thinking you're going to get you're going to get a different result. That's madness. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? The same thing has been done over and over and over again, think you're going to get a different result. It's not going to happen. You have to do something different. You have to be willing to come outside of the box, if you get what I'm saying. You have to. I heard someone say, and I ain't going to say who said it, oh, don't rock the boat. What do you mean don't rock the boat? Flip and turn the boat over. Turn it over. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you don't turn the boat over, nothing's going to happen. There's children, men, women in the droves going to jail for something they haven't done. There's those that are already in the jails, rotting away in there. You understand what I'm saying? IPP situation as well. All of these things. What do you mean don't rock the boat? Come on. I get mad. You understand what I'm saying? What are you talking about?
Would you ever work within the government structure to
work within it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's why I said that for a reason. Would you ever work within the structure? Because there's working with them and there's working within the structure. Because when you work within the structure, then the changes you want to make now have to comply with the rules and or their regulations and policies. And then it's like it falls apart. So is it still going to be as impactful to make a change as independently? Or would you need to be inside of the system, so to speak?
You can be inside the system and it can implode. If you get what I'm saying. If you're doing work inside it, it can help little bit by little bit till it implodes. You understand what I'm saying? But you're gonna have to do, I think, a lot of ass kissing.
Yes.
A lot of tongue biting. Yeah. A lot of, you understand? And that may take a long while before you see that implosion. I think if you do on the outside now, you have a bigger chance of, if you get what I'm saying, I feel anyway, of making those changes. But like I said, is you got to get the right people who've got the balls to stand up against, you get what I'm saying, and go against the grain and make some noise. Don't care, I feel power to the people, if you get what I'm saying. The people have the power. And if the people made more noise and woke up, things would have to change. Yeah. But because the people are sleeping and don't know and they like it that way, they like you asleep, they entertain you. You go on social media, everybody's dancing. You're dancing your life away. If they're not eating, they're dancing or they're doing something. You understand what I'm saying? They lull you to sleep with this entertaining. But if people woke up and really, really woke up and really smelt the coffee and really understood how easy it is to get caught up in joint enterprise, they'll do something about it. They'll make noise about it.
Do you reckon impact from, like, let's say a billionaire got involved and, this person was it just pulled at their heartstrings. It was like, nah, I can't be hearing this and not do something about it. Because they have the power to go against these private institutions and these companies and individuals that own the prisons and own the conglomerates and corporations that own the prisons, that have the resources to really just look at you guys and say, you lot make a noise, we ain't listening to you. Is that what's needed? Is it like serious investment that needs to come into it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
We do.
Definitely.
We need money.
We need someone higher to have this happen to them.
Yeah.
Right.
And to know what it feels like.
Yeah.
Then
you're right, Jules.
Yeah.
Make it happen to one of them. You see how quick joint enterprise. There was that what joint enterprise? You're talking about where? Who? What joint enterprise? That's gone. Make it ever, and I know it sounds bad, but I said, Father, please do, beg you do. I know it sounds horrible, beg you do, make it happen so that they can feel it. You understand what I'm saying?
No, do you know what? I've
I
said
prayed,
exactly the
make
same.
it happen
Yeah.
to one of them, the right one. I'm telling you, joint enterprise is gone just like that.
They don't have joint enterprise in Scotland or Ireland. It's only England and
Really?
Wales. Yeah.
Where's that?
That's it, because they got sense.
Don't have it.
Same reason
They've
they
got
don't
different
pay for
laws, but it
university
just
up
shows
there.
that we're all part of Britain. And
Because
they don't even they don't have
Britain
it there.
is
Crazy.
you go study Britain.
crazy.
Yeah, study about Britain, and you know why.
That's crazy.
Study Britain, yeah. Study about Britain. You know why. You'll
Yo.
understand the mind behind Britain and what Britain is about. Why? And I keep telling you, follow the money. Follow the money. Yeah, follow the money.
You mentioned before that obviously, you know, people that are involved in joint enterprise that weren't directly actually involved in a crime shouldn't be sentenced as the person that committed the crime both of you have mentioned, right? If you guys could draw up a new set of punishments, what would you say would be a fitting punishment? I know this is very general, but what would you say is a fitting punishment for somebody who wasn't directly involved in the crime, but there was a part played that, you know, if you weren't that little screw in the, you know, in the machine, it wouldn't have turned on. You know what I'm saying? So what?
So are you talking about assisting?
Yeah, if they just,
Encouraging?
you know, someone was trying to, you know what I'm saying, you know, whoopsies, I accidentally pushed your hand and you pushed the door open, whoopsies, and then I robbed the bank. Like, what punishment does that person get? Or the guy that, you know, their phone was used and, you know what I'm saying? Because that one's really subjective. You don't know. Like, if someone takes your phone to make a phone call, you don't know who they've called or what they're talking about.
They shouldn't get
Or
anything.
you're in the room or in the car and you do know what they were spoken about. But as somebody that's looking at the case, you will never actually know this. So how do we punish this person if they're found guilty? We can't give them 30 years. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
What they're
But
doing.
what do
That's
we-
what's happening.
But if you guys had your way, what would you do?
Right, the different
all depends, innit,
scenarios,
on-
it depends. All right then, right, let's try break it down for you a bit. Because they like to mention bank robbery with joint enterprise, innit? They bring up bank
Yeah,
robbery.
they all do that.
So with bank robbery,
That is joint enterprise,
that's
isn't
joint.
it?
That's joint enterprise. You know, it's blatant joint enterprise because
One's the getaway driver. That's
one's
what
the
they
get. Yeah,
do.
so you
One's
know
the
who's
lookout
got.
and
Yeah,
one's the
That's the
robber.
real
so,
meaning of
yeah,
it.
so
Like,
that's
yeah.
joint enterprise.
No, the thing about that is that if you know what crime is going to happen
Yes.
and you go along with that crime, then
Yeah.
you're guilty of joint
You're
enterprise.
guilty of joint.
So,
because
but you have
knew.
to have know all the elements of that
That's
crime.
right,
But
yeah.
if you don't know all the elements, you can't be found
You
guilty.
can't be
If you
found
did
guilty.
not know that was going to happen, you can't
So
be found
say
guilty.
for instance now, you're going to rob that bank. You know you're only going to go and rob that bank. That's what the plan was. We're going to rob the bank. Yeah?
We're coming home with peas.
We're coming home with the peas. Yeah? And then somebody made a wrong move in there. The bank teller decided to try and press that button and my boy shoot her or him. Yeah? You decided to shoot her or him, you know? Because that's not what the plan weren't to go shoot nobody and kill nobody. So that's on you because I didn't know you was going to do that. Then the other guys get done for the robbery, but don't get done for the murder.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
You understand what I'm
Alright,
saying?
I hear
There
you.
could be a fine line of manslaughter there, though, because your actions kind of led to that. You kind of couldn't do it. There could
No,
be.
I wouldn't even say no. No, because the thing about it is, all right, then we plan to just go rob. Yeah, you chose. So don't manslaughter me. I ain't doing no manslaughter. I'm not doing manslaughter because I did not agree with no murder, no harm of
Do you know
nobody.
where they could argue? And I'm not even advocating for this.
They all have guns.
Not even that, because now we're putting weapons into the scenario, into everybody's hands. But it was a heinous situation, and you're already in a situation that anything can go wrong, right? And you're creating excitement in this situation. So this person, you know, they could have argued that, you know, never been in this situation. They were nervous. You know, the guy was shouting at me to hurry up. You know what I'm saying? I just pulled the trigger. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that falls under manslaughter. I'm speculating. I'm talking rubbish. But I think, you know...
Can do, though.
Yeah, that would
It can do, yeah.
You could
Loss
spin
of
it,
control.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think what we can take from what I can take from what I've heard is that we are unfortunately we live under a system that is completely just bent backwards. It says one thing on paper, but once you actually get into the room and everybody starts arguing their case, it can just completely fly off of whatever that paper says, and now it's just all down to however we feel. And I just kind of feel like it's beginning to seem more and more like the communist kind of places that we hear about in stories, these places that are dictatorships where, you know, you walk into a situation and it's like, yeah, we've got the jury that we know will be on our side and we already know what decision we're going to make. So forget what the law says. We're just going to glide over a few things and just do what we want to do. It just doesn't really feel like we live in a fair democracy, to me. And I might sound like, I don't know, an idiot, naive. But yeah, I'll be the naive guy. I know we don't live in a fair democracy, but it's just really, really disappointing to know that we as a people are so docile and so friggin' medicated that we don't even care. Like, we know what they're doing to us. We know that we can do something about it. All it takes is a few extra minutes a day to read into the what's that book, that law book? Black's Law. Man, I started researching that Black's Law thing. I was like, oh my days. Like, it just opened up a world of, wait, so we're the idiots. I see.
Listen,
we don't know nothing.
We've been done over, mate. We've been from the time we were conceived in our mother's womb, yeah, to the time that birth certificate was signed and that straw man was formed. We've just been done over, yeah. And I know I'm talking a bit deep, but it goes back to the same Black Law stuff. You understand what I'm saying? We've been. You understand what I'm saying? You know, we are property. So as far as they're concerned, they do with us as they will. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and I think you made a good point by bringing up Black's Law because we have got to study. Yeah, the Bible says study to show yourself approved. You've got to study because knowledge is power. It's power. I'm telling you, it is power. Go and learn. Gain some knowledge. Get some knowledge. With the knowledge, get some understanding. And then it says, when you get wisdom, make sure you get the understanding. Because when you have the wisdom, you know how to use the understanding of the knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? We've got to stop being lazy, stop being spoon-fed. And you know what it is as well, is that we have a fast-paced generation now of things. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. That their attention span is as small as a gnat. You understand what I'm saying? The brain cells have shrunk down so hard that to pick up a book to just read, your brain cells are screaming because you ain't read.
End of the world.
You understand what I'm saying? and that's how they devised it to be. That's how they orchestrated it to be. Because when you're like you use the right word, docile, you're blind. You're not seeing nothing. You're not feeling nothing. You're just there. So somebody will tell you something, you'll believe, oh yeah, that's true. You don't question nothing. There's no questioning of nothing, you know, and it's good to have podcasts like this, if you get what I'm saying, where we can speak about things like this and get it out there. Please study, pick up a book, put down your phone, leave social media alone, because I'm telling you, the books are more juicier than what you watch on TV.
Just.
The books are more juicier than what, especially when you're going back to like the 1500s and the 1600s.
They really had to use their imagination then, so you can imagine what they were writing
If you read them books then, they tell you the truth of what was in their mind and what was going on. And you will, like I said to you, the laws that they changed the name is still going on to this day. So if you go back to where it was, you will know what is going on today. And you understand yourself better of how to navigate in the world of what's going on today. But you've got to pick up that book and you've got to read.
Yes.
They're there. I'm telling you soon. Don't know how soon. Yeah, they will start burning these books and getting rid of these books because they've been doing it for a while.
This knowledge is about to disappear.
There you go. Because they don't want you to have that knowledge. They don't want you to question anything. They want you to, as sheep, to just believe and listen and do everything that they say. You understand what I'm saying? So we've got to educate ourselves. We have to. It's very important to educate ourselves and to educate our children. It's important to do that. You know, so...
Speak about education. I think you guys saw the comments. Like, what did you say to people that say, "Oh, but so-and-so shouldn't have been there. Your child shouldn't have been there." That's there. How do you rebuttal that?
Right, I'll give you that. Sorry, Jules. Sorry if I'm jumping ahead of you.
Don't.
Yeah,
You do it.
the prosecution on our case said I can't remember the exact words, but he basically was saying, because they was going to a party. You understand what I'm saying? The boys were going to a party, yeah? Well, they decided to go to the party. No one said they should go to the party. What do you mean? They're going to a party.
We're going to a party, yeah.
So they're not allowed to go to a party? So he's basically... It's the way how he tried to put it, like... They chose to go to the party. So because they chose to go to the party, that meant you understand what I'm saying?
No sense.
You're not making no sense. So when you and your pals choose to go out and go and have a drink, are you committing a crime because you've chosen to go to the pub to go and have a drink? So it's the way that he made out like, can I say, try to criminalize the action of free will, of freely going out to a party, or freely going out to go and enjoy yourself. You're going to criminalize the fact that we've decided that we want to go party. So it's a crime now for me to go party. To go and enjoy myself is a crime. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't choose what happened. I know what's going to happen. So you can't say I'm doing something wrong because I've chosen to go to a party. You figure what I'm saying? We can be anywhere. As we've heard, we can be anywhere, right? The other day, there was when the riots were happening, remember? And they said, if you're on the periphery, if you're just there looking at what's going on over there, and the camera catch you, that means that you were part of what was going on. That's what they tried to bring in the other day, you know? Yeah, and people had to make up an uproar. How can you want to charge me for just standing over there looking at what was going over here? That's crazy. That's scary. That's actually very, very scary. So I'm walking down the road, doing my shopping. My hands could be full of shopping. You understand what I'm saying? Fight broke out. And I just turn my head to look and see what's going on. You're going to tell me, because I was there on the periphery, that I'm involved with that? You understand what I'm saying? And I know it might sound kind of mad to some people, but that's the thinking of it. I'm scared now, so that means I can't walk and do nothing. I can't go nowhere. You're going to tell me, so why was you there? What do you mean, why was I there? I was doing my shopping. I'm going back my business. You understand what I'm saying? They're trying to take this thing, this thing so far. They just do too much. They do too much. They just do too much.
You are going to get a lot of people that have their opinions and say, "Oh, well, they shouldn't have done this, or they shouldn't have been there." They shouldn't.
They just get on my nerves, though, man. They do, and
I'm sure that they've been in the same situations, or someone, or their kids have been in. It just so happens that they were lucky and nothing happened.
You get so many of those people, though. I can't take it. I've just heard so many, like you said. You know, they want to make judgment. You can't judge a situation
blame the
like
parents.
that.
We got that, didn't we? We blame the parents. Like, what? How can you blame the
A lot of
parents?
people are just talking rubbish.
Always quick to blame the parent. Especially the mum. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh, Golden Bennett. Yeah, the mother witch hunt. The mother witch hunt. Yeah. They do it. They really do it. You know, when these things happen, it's your fault. You don't know how to raise a man. Mothers can't raise boys and all of that. You know, you're the ones that's destroyed them. And yeah, we got it. We get all of that. You know, and but like I said, there's nothing much we can really say about that because it can happen to anybody.
Yeah, it can.
It can happen to anyone. anytime, anywhere. It can happen. That's the scary thing about it. You just don't know. You just don't know. So,
Yeah, this makes sense. I think one of the comments I had was, "Oh well, your son shouldn't carry knives," and I'm like, "But he didn't carry knives. Do you know what I mean? He didn't. Oh, he shouldn't hang around with people that carry knives, but he didn't carry knives either."
Right,
It's like,
listen, this is what we learnt as well. You can carry a knife. Doesn't mean you've got intent to use it, because that's what the judge said. The judge said to the jury, even if they were carrying a knife, it didn't mean that they had an intent to use it, so you cannot convict them based on that. That's what she said. That's her words, not mine.
Oh my God, you had a good judge.
That's her words.
You had a good judge.
I'm just telling you her words. That's what she said.
My son's been convicted of that, of knowledge
that's
of a
what she
knife when there
said.
was no knowledge of a knife.
That's what she said.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Her words.
That's crazy.
So and one of the witnesses was there, and she was a youth worker, and she said, "Listen, I work with youth. They carry knives. Not all of them have the intent to use it, though. Some carry it for bravado. Some want to feel safe. They don't. Not all of them want to use it. To have that intent to use it. You understand what I'm saying? So there's so many different arguments you can have with this thing here. You understand what I'm saying?
It is true. And I mean, there's certain parts of the world where carrying a knife is normal. You know, at a young age even, because there's not even no threat against you like that. It's just a normal thing.
Yeah.
And when we was younger, we collected knives. You know what I'm saying? We just like the colours on the handles. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you got the red one, I got the blue one. You know what I'm saying? We used to pretend to flick it out and all that. Unfortunately, some people went a bit far, you know. Got theirs a bit stained up and all of that. Or they got stained. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy. What can we do? What can youth workers and youth services do in our communities to help prevent these things from happening down the line? How can we encourage the younger generations to the certain individuals? How can we kind of steer them away from wanting to just be part of the peer group, just to be part of the peer group? What can we do? You know, what message can we convey?
It starts from the home. And again, when I say it starts from the home, I'm not blaming no one. I'm not putting no blame on nothing. You understand what I'm saying? This is not about bashing anyone, but it does start from the home. Yeah? How we nurture them, how we raise them, you know, affirmation, you know, assurance, love, care, all the rest of it. You get what I'm saying? That is a starting point, and there's no argument. You can't argue with that. Anybody who's going to get defensive, please don't get defensive. Please, because no one is judging. There is no judgment. You understand what I'm saying? It's a fact. It starts from the home. Yeah, because if at home there is no love, there is no care, there's nobody affirming you, you're going to go out and you're going to want to look for that out on the road. And you're going to end up being groomed, because somebody out there is going to see, oh, little Johnny don't, have no trainers, and he don't have certain something, and him seem hungry, and you understand what I'm saying? Let me buy him 1-2 food and trainers, and little Johnny's now going to feel loyal and bonded to that person's showing care. Little Susie, man say love you, rah, 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 she's not getting that home. No parents is telling her that. You understand? Daddy ain't showing that. Yeah?
It's
gonna go out there and look for it. You understand what I'm saying? It's happening. Young children, it's happening to them. Groomed from young. Then it starts, look, go and do that for me. Go and carry that for me. Feel obligated now because man bought me trainers, man bought me food, man, do you understand what I'm saying? Big me up, whatever. Might give my mummy a bill to go and pay a bill. You understand what I'm saying? Do a shopping. Yeah? The loyalty now is to that person.
Yeah.
And then the manipulation stuff. But I did buy you this and I did do this for you and I did that. That's a trap right there. That's how it starts. You understand what I'm saying? So if these things are recognized, where youth workers and whatever, and it's recognized, hopefully with intervention, you understand what I'm saying? The proper intervention, they can get the child away from these kind of things. You understand what I'm saying? And may can, you know, turn that on its head. And I believe that again, these youth workers, community workers, you see all of these elders out here that's grooming the young people. Them, come on, man, come on, do something about them, because you know majority of them. You understand what I'm saying? You know majority of them. Do something about them because they're nasty. I'm sorry, they're disgusting. You're preying on a child. You're nasty. You understand what I'm saying? Me personally, they should be put on predators register. Them kind of register. They need to be on that. They need to be on that. Because you're taking anyway. Please don't let me even start with that, because I hear too much horror stories. But I think I personally believe that the youth are being failed because, again, you either know the man or you're scared of the man, you know the family, or you understand what I'm saying? So you don't want to go and do the work. You don't want to intervene, or so you don't want to do. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, I could go on and on about that there.
I heard a quote. I can't remember who it was from. I was watching a podcast a couple of days ago, and somebody said most of the world's problems, if not all of the world's problems, probably not all, but most of the world's problems stem from absentee fathers, right? I understood this statement very heavily in terms of all of the newer problems that we have in society, for some societies, because of the domino effect. As mothers of sons, having the opportunity to speak to them and advise them, what would your words be to kind of have them avoid getting into a situation where they just spread their seed and are absentee fathers, and they end up having a situation where a child may have to grow up without their father and may not be directed in the right way? Not that the mother is not able to direct them, but we know how boys can be hard-headed when they get older, and their influence might come from the bravado that they see on the road. How do we advise our young boys to avoid getting into, and I know this might be a reach for some people, you know what I'm saying, but I do believe also that, like you're saying, it stems from the home. It comes from, I'm not saying that people that have their mums and dads don't get into mad situations. I'm not saying that. But we already know how the statistics go when you come from a single parent household. You know what I'm saying? So what would your advice be to your sons? How would you steer them away from that? How would you advise them to, be very present, even if you're not with the woman, be very present in that child's life to avoid that down the line? You know what I'm saying? If my question makes sense. It's a big question.
I can't really answer that because my son, he had a lot of fatherly figures. My brothers, my dad, his dad. He had a stepdad at one point. So I don't think they're going to get. I think in some situations they're going to get themselves into trouble and getting themselves into certain situations no matter what. And I think it does have a lot to do with like who you hang around with. It does to a certain extent. But I think they go for a certain age where they think that they know better than anyone. Yeah. And I think all boys go through that stage. And it's not, I mean, my son now had a lot of time to reflect, and he realises like who's important to him now. He realises who's there fighting for him. He sees who's there visiting him. He sees who's there giving him money. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of takes that to get to that point. But I can't really answer about absentee fathers because obviously
Like,
you might be able to.
what I'd like to say before I answer about the absentee father thing, and you can have a father in the home, and that father could be the one that said, "Come, let's go." You understand what I'm saying? Then you go rob that place there. Me and go rob this person. come, let's sit down, smoke a zoo, talk, let's watch two porn and whatever. You can have a father in the
That's
home
dead.
that's doing that. So let me just balance that out. You understand what I'm saying? Because fathers could be in the home and doing that. You understand what I'm saying? If you're saying the problem is absentee fathers, there are fathers in the homes.
So let me go back on my statement because I specifically mentioned that there are cases where both parents are there.
Okay.
But I said let's look statistically. The statistics are higher on single parent households. That's just a fact. Yes, there are cases where people have their mum and their dads, but they still go left. But for the majority in the society that we live in, we know that it's single parent households. So specifically for those people, I know you said you can't answer for absentee fathers, but you wouldn't want your son to end up being one.
So you're saying, so you're talking about the son becoming a single father.
How would you advise the son? Like my son, for example, right? Let me give my example. Me, for example, I constantly explain to my son the negative side of the roads, you know, being a bad father. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want him to be like my father. Because I never wanted to be like my father. So I'm always just kind of advising him on little things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not overbearing with it, but I'll drop little things here, drop little things there. You know what I'm saying? I'll even tell him about certain road things, but then tell him, but this is how it ends. And then he's kind of, you see him getting excited. And then when you hear him with the end result, he's like, ooh, that didn't end well. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is more, how would that conversation go? It's the same way like a mother might have a conversation with her daughter about don't be with this kind of guy because he ain't gonna be with you. You know what I'm saying?
Because I talk to my son a lot. I've talked to my boys a lot about the choice of woman. If you get what I'm saying, I don't ramp with that. You understand what I'm saying? I don't ramp with that. I grew up with my brothers and I saw the problems that they had with women. The problems, sitting down at the table talking with my dad and talking to my brother, hearing the problem of my dad's dead. You understand what I'm saying? Counseling my brother about the baby mothers and the whatnot. I've seen, and I took from that and I said, I don't want that for my sons. If I ever have sons, I don't want that for my sons. And I said, please. Because my dad always, you know, talked about if they're mad, check out their family. You understand what I'm saying? Check out the background. What's in the blood? You understand what I'm saying? Check everything. You understand what I'm saying? Check it out. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you have a child with that person, that's going to come back and affect you badly. And I've seen it with my own two, with my brothers. You understand what I'm saying? They're going for pretty looks and shape and all the rest of it. The person's mad as anything. You understand what I'm saying? But they didn't see the madness. They're bypassing madness and said, no, man, I can breed that. It look like this and you understand what I'm saying? Yes. And end up with a noose around their neck. You understand what I'm saying? So I always tried my best to advise my sons about that. You understand what I'm saying? Please choose wisely because it can affect the rest of your life, making the wrong choice, having a child for somebody that is just not righted. You understand what I'm saying? It can affect you and that child for the rest of your life. So, you know, you're going to want to run away from that. You ain't going to want to be around that. The child ends up being a casualty because you have some women who are wicked and use the child as a weapon. Yeah. You know, they use a child as a weapon. And I've always tried to say, go to court. Do what you can do so that you can be in your child's life. Get the law on your side because once the law is on your side, you understand what I'm saying? If they breach that, they're in trouble. You understand what I'm saying? They're in trouble. So first and foremost, please, it's not about pretty looks and shape and this and no. There's nothing wrong with having your preference and what you want. There's nothing wrong with that, but look at the person's core values. Are they emotionally stable, mentally stable? You understand what I'm saying? Even bring the spiritual in that because they need some of that. You understand what I'm saying? Are they stable? when things go left, can they hold it down? You understand what I'm saying? Things get hard and rocky. Will they be able to mentally, you understand what I'm saying? Know how to handle the situation, emotionally handle the situation. Look at all of these things. It's important to look at all of these things, so then you won't make the right choices, and then there's a child left behind. You understand? With the mad person, because I'm telling you, that child's going to come out not righted too. It's going to be affected too. So you have to look at all of these things. You have to look at all of these things. And I have that conversation with my younger son often. Often. Come on, son, listen, you know. So, yeah. That's how you can really and truly stop this single fatherhood business. You know what I mean? Single motherhood business. You understand what I'm saying? Women, the same thing. Choose your men wisely.
Yeah.
Choose them wisely.
100%.
Because there's a saying, not just because you can does it mean that you do. You do it. Not because you can have a child means have it. You understand what I'm saying? Not because you can breed somebody, breed them. You understand what I'm saying? Think about what you're doing. So men, choose wisely. Women, choose wisely. Choose wisely.
I want to expand, and thank you for that. I want to expand a little on why I asked that question, right? Now, yes, it's true that in some cases, when there's one parent, there can be a lack of attention just because that one parent needs to make up for so much, right? That's in some cases. And I know that in some cases in a two-parent household, like I said, that child can still go left. I feel like where I should have elaborated more and when I asked the question is I was specifically speaking of a household that is very well-rounded, right? The chance for somebody to grow up in a household with a mom and dad who are well-rounded, who give adequate love and attention and discipline balanced, and that child still going left is very low.
Very.
In comparison to a couple who either stayed together for the children, who are not happy together really, who argue in front of their children, who are imbalanced in the relationship, who are still going through traumas from their childhood, and they're relaying that onto the child. That's not the kind of household I was referring to, because that's that's even worse than a single parent household in some cases, right? So it can be either or, but my comparison was based on, a well-rounded, family versus otherwise. But I say that to say to everybody listening or to anybody listening, it does go back. That might have been an example where you may be thinking, how did he pull that from what you were speaking about? But if I'm speaking about a generational cure. So that's how you solve things generationally. We've seen how over decades and decades, how no matter what, walk of life you come from, what your faith background is, the deterioration of family values and of a centered family home has caused I can't say it's caused, but it's directly like comparative to the fall of our society. Like, that's not a coincidence, that's the only reason I brought it up. So for everybody out there, for the fathers, whether you're with your significant other or not, be a father. Don't be a bitter father. Don't be a spiteful father. Don't use the child as a weapon or a bargaining chip, or, just be a father. Make sure that child has nothing that they can talk about their friends when they're in secondary school. Like, yeah, I love my dad, but man, sometimes you don't even want them to have that, but man. That but man should be like, yeah, when he used to go to the toilet, he used to be crazy or something like that. That's cool. But you don't want them kind of telling people, him and my mum was always arguing, and they didn't think I knew, but I knew. You know what I'm saying? And yes, people argue, but you don't want toxicity going out into your family. You know what I'm saying? Mothers, be mothers. Again, don't be spiteful. Don't use your children as currency. Don't, try to use them as a way to pull and push and pull, with your significant other. You know what I'm saying? Grandparents, stay out of their business. Just love the children and get out of their business. And for all of the youths and the young men and young women, you know what I'm saying, who are either involved in situations you shouldn't be, or on the verge of being involved in situations, or growing up and questioning stuff, like, just think of the end result. Do you think you're going to be that special case to make it out the other side? And what exactly is the end result going to be for you? You want to rebel? It feels fun for you right now. The endorphins are kicking in. Your adrenaline's rushing. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm cool. I get to post about this. All right, cool. You are going to grow up. And you might be the loser one day. And you might never grow out of that state and just be the loser for the rest of your days. It's not worth it. Or worse, you go to jail, or worse, you're dead. So thank you so much, guys. Sorry guys, but hey, we have to be real, man. But thank you so much, Jules. Thank you so much, Bells, for gracing us with your company again. It's a blessing to have you guys down. We wish you all the best with everything that's going on. Is there anything that you would like to kind of, let anybody know what's going on? You want to shout out some socials? You know what I'm saying? Any announcements? You going down to Parliament anytime soon? What's happening?
No, we are actually. We're going back to the. I think it's this month, isn't it?
It's this month, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's got quite a lot of people that want to go, so we have to limit the spaces because of the size of the room.
Throw that on Eventbrite, man. Put it on Eventbrite.
Oh, I don't know if they do it like that.
What?
Eventbrite. I don't think they do Eventbrite wise. No, I think it's a different way, different connections, different certain things how they do go about it. Thing. But no, just look out. Soon my organisation will be up and running, and it's basically Say No to Joint Enterprise, and it's about educating the youth, as I said, taking them to House of Parliament, field trips, teaching them about joint enterprise, talking to them about life, how to avoid, joint enterprise, basically, if you get what I'm saying. Talking to them about their life, their background, all of those things, how to love themselves, self-value, self-worth, preventative measures, and things like that. So, that will be coming soon.
Cool. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you very much. Right, you heard it here, guys. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for joining us. Hit us up on the TikTok. We're going to be going live weekly. You know what I'm saying? So come join in. We're switching over from the YouTube because it's just all long. And, just come over to the TikTok. Come join us. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, peace out. Peace in the Middle East, man. You know what I'm saying?